Clean coal technology, the largest lie of lethal lobbyists. Brief overview of a very complex topic by Larry Hartweg, ZEDmaster at Zero Energy Design. Senator John Edwards asks the great moral question of our generation. Why have we not addressed the issue of climate change and global warming? I'll tell you why. No question about it. Oil companies, gas companies, power companies, and the lobbyists in Washington, D.C. Senator Harry Reid is the majority leader of the U.S. Senate. He told the Clean Energy Summit that he will do everything he can to stop construction of proposed new coal-fired electric power plants. Reid stated that global warming is a reality, and just one proposed coal-fired plant would contribute to it by burning 7 million tons of coal a year. The long-term health care costs would be far too high. I'm going to do everything I can to stop these plants. There is no clean coal technology. ZeroEnergyDesign.com supports his position. Whenever you hear someone talk about clean coal technology, you are either listening to a corrupt person who is intentionally trying to mislead, or a naive, non-learning entity who is completely uninformed about the truth of coal. All coal-burning technology is both dirty and deadly. Coal emission particulates include heavy metals, arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, zinc, sulfates, nitrates, and hydrocarbons. Children and the elderly are at the greatest risk. About 64,000 people in the U.S. die prematurely each year due to particulate air pollution. That's more than the number of people who die in car accidents or by AIDS. Particulate air pollution causes lung cancer and increased hospitalizations for respiratory and cardiac diseases. Ozone is the primary element of urban smog. It causes over 1.5 million cases per year of significant respiratory problems in children and adults. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless, poisonous gas that bonds tightly to hemoglobin, blocking the blood's ability to carry oxygen and, in extreme cases, causing suffocation. Nitrogen oxides are formed when fossil fuels like coal are burned in the atmosphere, combining nitrogen with oxygen. Nitrogen dioxide causes pulmonary disease and increases susceptibility to respiratory infections. Carbon dioxide is a colorless, odorless greenhouse gas that causes man-made climate change. It also aggravates air quality problems, which increase the negative health impact of the other air pollutants from coal. And now we come to mercury, which is a neurotoxic heavy metal that can circulate in the air for a year and then concentrate in water, where it makes fish toxic and eventually animals, humans, and our babies' milk. Many U.S. waterways contain high levels of mercury in the marine life. Fish from these areas should never be eaten by humans or animals. Fish that eat fish concentrate mercury and become even more toxic. Coal-fired power generation has already badly polluted a once valuable and nutritious marine food source and made it deadly. And our world has plans to greatly expand dirty coal-fired power plants that will emit larger amounts of mercury. Even the expensive new IGCC coal technology spews out very serious quantities of toxic mercury. There is no such thing as clean coal technology. Exposure to mercury in water, fish, milk, and air causes kidney failure, numbness in the arms and legs, defects in fetuses and young children, mental development problems, including an alarming increase in autism, loss of motor skills, blurred vision, loss of hearing, slurred speech, avoidable early death. Mercury damages the brain, which impacts the entire being. It damages the central nervous system, the digestive system, the liver, which regulates and provides synthesis of essential cells. It damages the kidneys that remove toxin. It damages the pancreas, which produces insulin and causes diabetes. And it damages the immune system, which is essential to our survival. Is coal power worth high healthcare costs? Do profit-motivated power companies care at all? With heavy influence from the fossil fuel industry, George Bush fought to relax mercury emission restrictions that were put in place by Bill Clinton and signed into law by his own father. Despite the lies told by lobbyist corrupted pork barrel politicians, there is no clean coal technology. Integrated Gasification Combined Cycle, IGCC, is a new emerging technology that fractionally reduces but does not eliminate toxic emissions from coal-fired power plants. IGCC still emits the same amount of volatile organic compounds and deadly mercury which damages infants. IGCC emits a reduced amount of sulfur and nitrogen oxides and is better than conventional coal, but still not clean. Calling IGCC clean coal is immoral, dishonest deception. IGCC is illegal in more intelligent places like California. IGCC uses less water than a conventional coal-fired plant, but it emits about 80% of the carbon dioxide, contributing greatly to man-made climate change global warming problems. The American Lung Association says that coal-fired power plants cause significant healthcare problems. All coal-fired plants, including IGCC, emit mercury, which causes nerve death. Mercury pollutes Earth's atmosphere and then the water, plants, plankton, small fish, and especially large fish. Our food labels do not publish actual mercury levels. A similar thing is happening to insects and then to most birds. Pollution is killing bees that pollinate 1/3 of all our U.S. food crops. Our food is untested and deadly. It is the legacy of our corrupted pollutocrats. Curiously, it takes a lot of imported oil to extract and deliver dirty coal to deadly power plants. The process sadly kills many good men. Bible-thumping former Ku Klux Klan leader Senator Robert Byrd is proud to be called the King of Pork. He runs the Senate Appropriations Committee and ensures that coal subsidies for his state are abundant. His extremely corrupt legacy is that his home state of West Virginia has the highest per capita death rate from health problems related to coal-fired power plants. Suppose you turn on your television and the news says that there is a serial killer in your home state. He is traveling all over your state and randomly terminating 4 or 5 young and old people every day. Worse yet, he's been doing it for decades and no one seems very concerned about it. That's exactly what burning coal to produce electricity in many states is doing today. No one cares to live in harmony with nature. No one cares about the health of our children. Do you care? What would you do? The 2003 FutureGen project was a risky $1.5 billion 10-year U.S. experiment to see if a coal-fired plant with low carbon dioxide, mercury, and sulfur emissions is even possible with today's technology. The whole project was impractical and funding was terminated in January of 2008. Risky alternatives are being considered and politicians are still talking about the elusive clean coal technology. In 2007, 5 companies with plans to build new coal-fired plants received letters from the New York State Attorney General's office demanding that they fully disclose financial risks from greenhouse gases. Any one of the several new or likely regulatory initiatives for carbon dioxide emissions from power plants, including state carbon controls, EPA's regulations under the Clean Air Act, or the enactment of federal global warming legislation, would add a significant cost to carbon-intensive coal generation. This is the sharpest incident to date of a wave of new skepticism from regulators, the public, and agitation from environmentalists and shareholders about new coal power that does not implement extremely expensive, unproven, low-emission technology. Full disclosure will reduce money from investors. We must stop building any new coal-fired plants. Coal is environmental and economic insanity. From a purely selfish profit motivation perspective, a long-term investment in anything related to coal is extremely risky. Carbon emission taxes, tight pollution controls, much higher cost of sequestration, and other economic considerations are very likely to increase significantly in the next few years. During the payback lifespan of such risky investments, competitive, free, and clean energy from sources like solar and wind technologies are likely to flourish and cost much less than obsolete and deadly fossil fuels. Who would be stupid enough to invest in such risky business? Our future must be based on abundant energy in harmony with nature. Conservation and solar energy can eliminate the need for deadly coal.